Okay, welcome to my channel. This is Secrets Revealed, but this is a stock market edition. So we're getting a bit of a routine. We're going to do this stream after the market closes, not during uh, market hours. So the first thing I look at is the free stock screener that I have here. You probably can't see it, but I'm just going to go over the stocks with the highest volume of the day. And we look at the movers, the shakers. Um, I usually look for stocks that are around $1 and have shifted a lot in percentage points. Um, I saw a few here that caught my eye. I'm getting to it once I see it. Let's see. We want to look at least 200 million, maybe more, and they have to be worth at least around $1 or so. So I'm scanning up here, almost at the top. Okay, here we go. Naked Brand. Excuse me, Naked Brand Group. This is a Reddit stock. 345 million volume today. Went down 35%. That is still a good stuff. It's still a good buy. A lot of potential there. A new one that just caught my eye just a moment ago. It's called Ocugen. Let's look at that. 395 volume. 80% today. Jumped 80%. Let me just look at their chart. Okay. You can't see this chart, unfortunately. I don't have a share screen ability on this platform. Just waiting for it to load. So Ocugen, just see if they have any potential here. Well, they do because they already had 395 million volume today. Okay, so bear with me as it loads. So after we look at these uh, high volume trading stocks, I usually will go to Reddit, look at the post there, and then just look over the top 9 and see how we did and what the future lies. So this stock usually floats between $1.50 to $1.80, but it spiked up to 326 just today, and it had no signs of letting go. It's pretty much went all the way to 373, and then it closed at 326. So that was a great buy for some people, 80% jump. It's almost right at levels, but I'm not gonna add it because it needs to hit the 100% increase in a day. That's, in my opinion, that's what you need to have. And I would just get this at $1.80 if it ever drops there. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't buy it now. It's too hot. I'd leave that alone. Not a good, not a good time to buy that one. Uh, Today I watched somebody's channel, Traders Trades, I think his name is. Pretty good channel. I found it on Wall Street Bets of all places. But let's keep going before I get too sidetracked. So the next one, Ocugen. Okay, just looked at that. AMC had 400 million volume today, but it was down 41%. I watched a lot of content on AMC from Wall Street Bets people and a lot of posts from Wall Street Bets presenting the facts, like the actual reality of what's going on with AMC. There's so much potential for it to explode and be the next GameStop. We're going to see it hit $20 again. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of, are you willing to just buckle up and just be brave? Just take a risk and let it go up. Because if you sell it, you only hinder the plan. But if you hold on to your shares, no matter what price you bought them, it's going to be a lot higher than whatever you bought it. Even if you bought it at 20, 25, you're still going to go above that. It just takes time. Just like with GameStop, it didn't go to 500 overnight. It went to 14 to 40 and then 50 and then 60, and it was stuck around 40s to 60s, and then all of a sudden, boom, went up to 100 and then stayed at that level. Then it went to 200, and then eventually 300, but it took time. It took time for it to get there, and then eventually 400, and then 500. So that's AMC, and I see that possibly going to as high as 40, maybe more. We'll see. It could be the next GameStop. That's what it. I mean, this volume is amazing, and it's pretty consistent. Actually, GameStop didn't even do 454 million during its really busy time, so it was really trading at its peak. So I think this. We'll see where it goes. I have holdings in this, so well, actually I should talk and be more transparent about that. I'm not going to give like numbers exactly, but just tell you what I have. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm not like a millionaire or anything like that. But let's see. Moving on. Okay. Actually, I think that's about it for this list. Green concepts. Okay, that's 80%. That's not too bad. I wouldn't mention that too much. Oh, Tex Homa Energy, 100% increase. Penny stock there, 712 million volume. Interesting. Well, Media G3, 450% increase, 718 million volume. That's pretty interesting. But these are all penny stocks, so you don't watch those. But I know there's a lot of people that do. And then the last one, oh yeah, I want to cover this one. Number one on this list, with 3.67 billion volume today, is Healthier Choices Management Corporation, HCMC. And I found out about this stock through that YouTube channel. If I could just open it here. Traders, yeah, you should.
Webull is a brokerage platform.
Okay, yeah. Trades. Sorry, I thought it was Traders Trades. Trey, Trey, apostrophe S Trades. Got a lot of subscribers. No,
How's your trade in the pre-market starting at 4 a.m.?
I don't have to big up him. He needs to big up me because I'm the one who needs more help. But anyway, yeah, he spoke about this stock at length, and he said there's a lot of potential for this, especially with a pending lawsuit that they have with Philip Morris of all companies. If that goes well for them, even if it doesn't go too well, but just a little bit well, this stock will at least double. It's at 0.0014. You could see this even hitting $1, he was saying at one point. And you know what? I do believe that's possible. I'm not saying it will happen, but we'll see. We'll watch. But I don't think it'll stay at 0.0014 for too long. It'll probably hit a penny soon. So there's only room for growth for this. I would probably get into it tomorrow if I'm able to buy it. I don't know if that's even permitted through the exchange or the platform that I use, but I'll see if I can get some. It looks like a promising stock with over 3 billion today. I don't even know. I don't have words for that right now. Okay, so that's all the stocks for in terms of the high volume stocks. So now I'm going to look at Reddit. Let's see if I can just do it on my laptop here. Make sure the stream is still doing well. Maybe I'll just read Reddit from my phone. Like anyone could really do this, but I mean, yeah, anyone could just go and read this themselves, but it takes a little bit more. What's the word I'm trying to use? But to navigate and to decipher things, it takes a little bit more experience. Not that I'm the most experienced in the world, but I like to think, that I have pretty good instincts, and that will only show itself in the results I get from all these stocks I'm trading. I'm not able to find it. I just Google it or DuckDuckGo it. If you browse it on my phone, not typically on my laptop because it's a little bit slower. So let's try it both. Let's do a race and see who gets there first. All right, here we go. WallStreetBets. There it is. Okay, let's see what loads first. Oh, okay, my phone got it first, so we're going to read from there. We have over 8.3 million members and over 500,000, over 600,000 online right now. I love numbers. As you can see from the thumbnail, we are the revolution. This is not a joke. It's not a fad. This is like what Netflix did to Blockbuster video and the video industry and the movie industry. What is happening right now? What is happening right now with the stock market is like what happened to print magazines and newspapers when the internet came and put them out of business in terms of people who are only doing print. Because you can see lots of these companies had to transition and adapt and had to adjust to this innovation or this how Reggie put it, Nintendo. It's a not a catalyst. It's like a blue ocean strategy, something that is just disruptive. Wall Street bets, disruptive. Please, disruptive. People not just unifying their pooling the resources along with other powerful, billionaires behind it. It's very powerful, but it's not just that we're consolidating all our money together as like a collective, like the Borg. What do they call them? The Borg, the collective, Borg collective. We're not just like the Borg collective and uh, just brainless. What we are is very much able to communicate to each other through the internet, obviously, but not just communicate. It is more about cutting through the lies and all the propaganda being uh, peddled our way to sway us, to cause us to doubt what we're even doing. I think as long as you stick to Wall Street bets until they close that or whatever, and then you go to 4chan Biz, B-I-Z, B-I-Z, uh, you go to the one of the two or both, or you go to another one, maybe on, I don't know, Yahoo Finance or Stock Twits, if it comes to that, where we have to just find other places or maybe create a Facebook group or create different groups over different social media, Instagram, I don't know, Twitter, what's another one? Not Parlor. What's that one that was recently joined it lately? Gab. Gab. You can do Gab. Maybe Gab would be the one to save us if Reddit shuts down and 4chan and actually maybe 8kun as well. So these are all revolutionary things. I mean, this is a revolutionary movement. But anyway, I'm getting too off topic. I'm not off topic, but just a little long-winded there. Okay, let's go from the beginning, from the very bottom of the page. Someone needs to check up on my man's over here. Okay, let's say used 46,000 of my dental school LOC to buy more GameStop. Okay, so $46,000. Let's see. So how much we bought on the 29th. Okay, so that was a bit higher, I think. Then. So this person, hopefully they bought it for a low price. I mean, it's one thing. I'm not discouraging anyone from buying GameStop and AMC. I'm totally on board. But the only thing is, if we're gonna trade, gentlemen, because are mostly men, let's face it. If we're gonna be trading long term, we gotta trade smartly. We gotta trade wisely. Trade wisely. We can't be just buying at whatever price just because. We have to look for a good entry point. Today I bought some shares of GameStop. Bought a couple for $120 per share, which that was my target. It was a little higher than where it dropped to the 80s, but that's a lesson learned. I mean, now you know support is probably around the 80s to 100, but still a good price, like 120 when it is going to go back up to 400 anyway and beyond. I really don't understand why there are people worried about GameStop. Okay, I saw that post already. My friend got his boomer mom to buy some GameStop anyone can hold. Okay, how much do you own one share? You gotta hold. I'm holding it. I'm not selling it for a loss. Yeah, well, the mom probably didn't have a good entry point. Okay, GameStop YOLO update. Down another 7 million, still holding. Wow. Well, no, I'm scared. So this person became literally a millionaire, and they, let's see, looks like they have 19,000 shares. Wow, looks like 19,000, almost 20,000 shares, and we bought them at $37. And when I bought mine initially, I wasn't as smart as him, but I bought them around 50 range, but I didn't hold on to them like he did. So I didn't have 19,000 either. I had maybe, 100 shares. I don't know. I can't remember right now. So today's return, yeah, wow, that's a hit to take. But again, this person will probably only sell if it goes around 37 or less. Down 400K. Okay. She's got a point. Reddit guys can figure out how to raise a stock price 200% and make Wall Street a-holes lose millions. I think they're talking about hedge funds people, but still don't know how to talk to a girl. Yeah, true that. Well, actually, not me. I can talk to girls. Didn't I think I had to remind some of you? But guess I was wrong. This is the 2008 Volkswagen squeeze. You can't make tendies if you don't want to lose tendies. So he says we're right at the dip before it explodes to 1,000. And you know what? Very much possible. It's very much in the cards. AMC is being traded like crazy. I saw another post. I don't know if it's going to be here on Reddit, but the post showed a graph or just a line showing the percentage of buyers versus sellers of AMC specifically. AMC had 95% buying, 95% sellers, right? And that shows you that this is going up. This isn't going to go down. AMC will go back, not only go back to 2025, it's going to smash that uh, ceiling and probably to 30, 40, 50, and I don't know, maybe even 100, just like GameStop. And we'll see how far it goes. But this is going to explode. People are going to be millionaires overnight. It's just a matter of when does it happen? Does it happen tonight? Tomorrow? It happen anytime. That's why it's really dangerous to. Uh, I think it's more dangerous to sell your shares before the market closes and then kick yourself once you see in the morning it explodes to 100 or whatever. It just explodes, breaks out of the little bit of a slump it has. Can't break 20. People, oh, it can't break 20. No, it's gonna smash that eventually. It's just the way. That's the way stock market works, especially with the short squeeze. So yeah, I think that's all to say about that. Just hold on to it and remember what happened with GameStop. History repeats itself, and that's what the shorts don't want. They don't want history to repeat itself, but they're doing all the same mistakes with AMC. I'm not saying it's as shorted as GameStop because GameStop is the most shorted stock in history with Wall Street, but AMC is still very much on that top. I'd say top 10, probably it's even higher than that. Massive ladder attack going on. Do not sell. I repeat, do not sell. They're not allowing us to buy so that they can continue pressuring the price down. Is that right? This is their last attempt to get out of this. So seems they're still preventing buyers from buying on Robinhood. They're scared to look at the buy-sell ratio. Still 3-1. So, excuse me, we have at least 75% buyers and only 25% selling or less. For those of you who are in doubt, first of all, even they would have bought every possible share in the last couple of days. They wouldn't be able to close all their short positions. Volume was way too low. Secondly, if they would have closed and therefore bought shares, the price wouldn't be where it is at the moment. It would be way higher. Third, why would they invest so much effort, market, and media manipulation if they already exited? Oh, good point. The more they talk about it, the more scared they are. The more they're fear mongering. Oh, GameStop crashed today, and buyers are leaving, and retail investors are jumping. No, none of that is happening. This is all fake news. It's all propaganda. Uh, they are the propaganda arm of the shorts, of the hedge funds, of the billionaires of the elite. They don't speak for the people. They don't fight for the people. They don't care about the people. The news would rather us all end up homeless and dead. They just prefer we wouldn't exist, period. Okay, edit 2. Last attempt, as in I believe that this latter attacking tactic will be the last thing that they can try on us, but maybe it'll take some time of holding the line to break this. You know, it'll take at least, I say at least 2 days, maybe a week. We'll see. One moment. The water. Water is not even free. Okay. That was a, oops, sorry. All right. So Reddit has been very good. So thank you, Reddit and the inventors of Reddit. I think one of them was a hacker, very famous hacker. Forgot his name right now, but rest in peace. Um, Forgot his name. It's a shame I did, but great guy. Hardcore laddering. So you can see there's a little, well, you can't see it, but I can see it pretty much 100 shares, 100 shares, 100 shares, and all within like cents. That's not how the stock market works. I mean, it does, but it's not organic. It's not real. That's short selling to each other. That's what I call the ladder, short ladder. We are currently on this step of the process. Hold, okay. It's a meme. So add, hey Mark Cuban, what? Like this so he sees. We appreciate your support. Why not join the fight? Now is a great entry point. Yeah, obviously, it is buzzed. So, yeah. And then there's Dave Portnoy, just a little downer there. I'm not going to mention that one. He's not really part of the movement, I suppose. The dip is fake. Look at how many people are buying compared to selling. Relax and hold. And that's what I was talking about earlier. You have like 95% buyers and only 5% sellers, which are all the shorts. Guys, I'm sorry I panicked and I bought some more. So when we panic, we don't sell, we panic buy. We buy as it drops and we increase our volume. We increase our numbers of shares, our number of shares. And we fuel up. Netflix is coming out with a movie show on Gamestock. Let's give them a happy ending. Okay, interesting. We're back, boys. AMC is finally open. Welcome back to the movies. We're thrilled to welcome you back and to celebrate 100 years of movies at AMC. Most theaters are now open. What? Is that right? And more theaters will reopen. That is huge. I didn't even realize that. I thought that was a joke. Let's look at this thread. This is going to go up. Rise, AMC, rise. I want my attendees. Rise from your grave. That's what I would say. I would post here. Got a handy in the back row. Okay, I don't know what that means. I guess that's sexual. Just bought 500 shares. So, you know what? I'm going to fact check this right now and see AMC opening theaters. I don't know. Is that even is just a meme or is that real? Okay, AMC will reopen 35 theaters this week. So AMC may have been bailed out by the actions of WallStreetBets. Yep, I mean we saved them collectively as not just WallStreetBets, but everyone who joined the movement, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So AMC raises 917 million to keep theaters open. That was last week. Let's see. Let's look for more recent news. So basically, well, I don't see that in the mainstream news, but except for that thing in Chicago, 35 theaters. That was 4 days ago. So they're either censoring it or what, but I don't see a source for that. But I believe it. I think. I don't know. See, maybe that's from AMC.com. Okay, that's just somebody posting their hopium, I guess is what we call it. Don't be this guy. A glimpse into the future. Okay. Close your eyes. It's Friday. The sun is peeking through the curtains, and you're eating a Weetabix with no worries. So cereal. You're happy. You sold your GameStop shares at a small loss at the start of the week as you continue to watch the share price plummet due to market manipulation. You got out. You survived. It's 9:28 a.m. You're returning from the school run. Your BMW 1 Series seats make you feel safe and important in your house. A little small. Okay, this is long. Your phone goes off. You have messages. What does it say? The short squeeze is happening. Jim Cramer is crying. You open Yahoo Finance, see the share price at $600, still rising. Heart skips a beat. You open an iPhone calculator and work out your 17 shares would be worth over $10,000. You feel sick. Um, the share price is still rising. You receive a call from your best friend. He's crying too. And you look back down, $800 plus. Wall Street Bets has crashed. And there's this person who wants to commit suicide. He missed defeat. He shouldn't have sold. He shouldn't have sold. He should have held. Shouldn't have sold. He should have hold. Diamond hands, he said. He told me to close my eyes so I couldn't read the rest. Yeah, so anyhow, yeah, I mean that is a very likely scenario. It's fiction, but you know what? Very much could be a reality. Porn addict hasn't masturbated 54 days, and GameStop is breaking his will. I bought 80,000 worth of GameStop stock at its peak. 80,000, down 80%. Now I can think of Wolf of Wall Street scene where Matthew McConaughey says he faps twice. Okay, whatever. Our darkest hour. This truly may be Wall Street Bet's darkest hour. We don't really know how long the hedges could keep up the restrictions, but what we do know is that all we can do is hold, and I know we'll do exactly that. Actually, there are other platforms besides Robinhood, people. You can trade on other platforms. You really push the corrupt funds to the breaking point and made them show their true colors. I believe this is just the beginning of a huge shift away from the firms and towards the average Joe. Yeah, it's a revolution. I've never been more proud to call myself you say this word? I'll call it Redart. Redart? Reddit? Redart. Oh, Redart. Remember during this dark time, if you ever feel like it's hopeless, there are a bunch of Redarts around the world just like you, and just like me, standing right beside you holding the stock. Because we like this effing stock. I say fracking stock. If the shorts blot out the sun, we'll buy in the shade. Ooh, 300. I love how the media is now trying to push the narrative. This is only American investors. This is a worldwide phenomenon. Ooh, maps. Love you. Okay. Mark Cuban spent 2 hours answering questions in his AMA, and then immediately called into CNBC to defend Wall Street. I'm going to say bullies. Wall Street Bets. But you know what? Hey, I don't mind that. Wall Street bullies are going to bully them. He left the hedgy host speechless. Oh, what are your reasons to buy a stock? There are many reasons. That's how you know that these people are worthless talking heads. They don't know what they're talking about. They're pretty much propaganda puppets. They don't really think for themselves. They're not real journalists. They don't do critical thinking. Like the stock. I like the stock too. I mean, that's all you need to. I mean, okay, why do we buy stock? To make money. It's not like we're all gonna buy it and then sell it overnight. No, we're gonna sell it at $1,000. That's what we're selling it at. Remember Volkswagen? We're gonna do that again. This is the way. This is the way. Like this if you cry every time. Okay, I don't get that Toy Story name there. Wall Street Bets headquarters. Let's say bullies again. Meanwhile, Wall Street Bets headquarters. Monkeys. looking at a chart, and then a human guy, turns the thing up, turns it downwards, and the monkey flips it back up again. Never going to give you up. Apes are happy together and strong together. Yeah. But if we're by ourselves, we'd probably sell. I'm not even gonna lie. If we're just lonely and have nobody to talk to this about and vent to, we would think everyone else is selling. But because we know, through the internet, the magic of the internet, that we're all supporting each other, we can do this stronger together. This is real. Mark Cuban says Reddit traders won't go away just because they lost money. Uh, yeah, I mean, you know what? They are more afraid, the hedge fund people, they are more afraid to lose their money than we are. So let's just say you have John Doe on retail investor side. He's a Redditor. He's a Wall Street bets guy, and he buys, I don't know, 100 shares of GameStop at X price. Let's just say $300. He bought it high, a little bit high, and then it went down to whatever it is now, around $100. So he's down the whole 200 times 100. So that's 20,000. So he's minus 20,000, suppose. Uh, he's going to be not happy about that for sure. But he can still move on. Um, he isn't as, what's the word? He's not as much of a, he's not as fragile as these hedge fund people who just they can't take a loss. They can't take a loss. They're not graceful losers. They're very devious, and then they plan to do things like shut down the stock market, specifically ban specific stocks from being traded. They're such cheaters. They're such cheaters. Um, that's the only way they can try to win, and they're still losing, even though they may think they won today's battle. They haven't won the war. This is long. This is going to go on for a while. Uh, let's look at. Okay, we'll look at this last. Just gonna finish reading these threads. Okay, apes in control. All right, apes in control. Oh, I see. The chart made a monkey and gorilla. This is the serious due diligence I came for. Factual note within that. GameStop YOLO update, February 2nd. Okay, so this person lost $6 million. Yeah. You know what? I respect these people, these gentlemen, holding on, not giving up. But I'm also a smart person too. You have to know where you're selling, where you're buying. So if this person decided to sell yesterday at 300 whatever, and then bought it again today, you make a killing. But that's lessons learned. Uh, but I think when you hold, there's just a lot more potential. So I understand when you hold and it goes to 1,000, you're going to be happier than the one who sold it. So maybe just sell a portion of the shares, sell half your shares. You're not going to, you'll still be happy with half or whatever portion. Hey everyone, it's Mark Cuban jumping on to do an Ask Me Anything. Let's look at the top comments here. For Mark Cuban, do you know anything about him? This is legit. Mark decided to do correct the GME earlier. Okay, so where's the top one? Let's just read the top three. Mark Cuban, whoever that is. Final thought. First, thanks for the questions. Thanks for changing the game. That's a revolution. Thanks for taking on Wall Street. Thanks for making kids around the country, if not the world, including my son and daughter, waking them up. Okay, making kids. So we made kids. I remember doing that. Well, Street Bets changed the game for far more than everyone on this board will ever get credit for, especially DFE. That said, you will do all this again. You will go after Wall Street, and the next time you will be smarter. There was only one thing that messed you all up. Robinhood and the other zero commission brokers that everyone used didn't have enough capital to fund the fight. They let you down in a big way. When you load back up, fight a broker with trillions of dollars in assets on the balance sheet. Someone that can be there when the fight starts and won't blink an eye. No disruption is easy or happens in a straight line. Stay with it. I am a believer. 51,000 votes. Fight a broker. You hear that, guys? Let's fight a broker. Kick his butt. I'm almost certain this is a typo. I think it meant find a broker. I just thought it was funny. Okay, right. It's like taking advice from a money printer. Okay, yeah. It is Mark Cuban. It's not HT to ask Pugliese for this question. What is HT? Hot topic? I don't know. Hey Mark, thanks for doing this. What are your thoughts on which services to use? I'm planning on getting out of Robinhood for obvious reasons. Then, any retail trading companies you'd recommend? Good question. I want to support free trade and hit Robinhood and the wallet for what they've done here. Also, any legitimacy to a class action suit against them? Good question. I mean, I'm not Mark Cuban. I'm just going to answer before I read his answer. I'm going to say class action suits don't really get anywhere. I think it's all just showmanship. But anyway, let's see what Mark says. Pick the brokerage with the strongest balance sheet. Good advice. What ruined it on Robinhood is that they didn't have enough cash to deal with the growth in accounts. Exactly. Margin, loans, and volatility. The exact same thing will happen at the next broker if you don't make sure they have a multi-trillion-dollar balance sheet to be able to handle these kind of circumstances. Well, who is that then? Can you name one? And there will be class action suits, and they will be combined, and they will win. You will get a check for less than $10. That's what I said. It doesn't really amount to anything. But when they do, when the hedge fund people, when they play, they don't file class action lawsuits. They call the White House, and then they intervene on their behalf. They shut down Robinhood, and they get things done. They're so corrupt. So then they get the fake news media to tell them, oh, silver and all this BS. So they use that as a propaganda arm. I mean, this is such a red pill for a lot of people. When they think about this, they don't connect it to the election, American election that took place, the presidential one. How the fake news media was against Trump the whole time. Fake polls, fake everything, constantly attacking him 100%. Just they still talk about him to this day. I don't know, whatever. But they don't connect the dots and see that this is all connected. We've had fake shares with the shorts, with their short squeeze, making counterfeit shares when they trade to each other and all that. You have fake votes where people who are dead were voting, and they even took people's votes and flipped it. We voted for Trump, let's flip it to Biden and Dominion and all that stuff. You have fake world that we live in where people, give you a product, but it's not what they say it is. Fake truth. We have Bibles that have been manipulated and censored from what it originally was. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But the point is, the truth is coming out and sets you free from all the lies. And this is only one aspect of that. There's so much truth in food, everything. Just name it. There's lies everywhere. And half truths. I'm not just going to say 100% lies, but they're 50-50. They mix in the truth with lies, and they mix in the lies with truth, and so you don't know what's what. So I think that's why I'm doing this, to be honest, to just filter through a lot of the stuff. And I'm not even reading the mainstream press. I'm reading Reddit just to see what we can gather from that. Wall Street Bets is really solid, uh, and Reddit is great. So I can afford to lose what I put into GameStop. Right. Yeah, exactly. Class action suit will yield absolutely nothing. It's all just for press, and I mean, they think that works. It doesn't work unless you actually do something, get things done, not just do lawsuits that get you nowhere. Unless your lawyer is Johnny Cochran or something, I don't know. Okay, what are your thoughts on the volume trading the last couple of days? Good question. What is your view on the practice of naked shorting? So that's what it is. Naked shorting, where you're creating counterfeit shares that don't even exist, just fake shares. Mark Cuban, actually love to see the companies I own shorted. What does that do? Okay. I actually love to see the companies I own shorted. Oh, if it's a company I want to own, I know the shorts can be squeezed. And if the company does really, really well, then the shorts will have to cover, creating more demand for the stock of the company I own, pushing the stock price up. Okay. Back in the day, I used to run a public company. I used to tell anyone and everyone I knew who didn't believe in us to short the stock. But why? As far as naked shorts, that's not really a thing. Yes, there can be more shares shorted than there are original float. This is by design. If I borrow a stock from you to short, then when I short it and your buddy buys it, then they can loan it to someone else to short, etc. All of those people who borrowed the stock paid to do so, and they realize that if enough people buy the stock and ask for the shares, they will get called in. So the chain of custody is there. The systems are doing what it is designed to do. So again, the more people shorting the stock in the company I own, the better. Where you have to be careful is when the shorts are in a stock because the company is a fraud. If I short stocks, it's only in companies I think are fraudulent and ripping off people. I actually produced a money. I actually produced money about one element of this, the China hustle. That's really good advice because a lot of these companies that notice the companies that are featured on Reddit, these are all companies with good reputations, with an actual business behind them. They're not just an imaginary company. Fairy tale company. They're AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia. These are well established and reputable businesses. They've been around for a long time, and they know what they're doing. What's the other one? AMC. Did I say that already? GameStop. Like that's the number one video game retailer in the planet. I mean, it's like Netflix. If Netflix had their own brick and mortar stores, uh, but I mean, who is the Netflix of video games? There really isn't one. GameStop is shifting its business to digital, so that's only going to help them. Hopefully, they can fully adjust and become like a Netflix of video games. Although PlayStation and Xbox have their own, online stores, so I don't know how that's going to work. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. They can just ship uh, games to people, physical games, but just act as an online retailer. So they could be kind of like an Amazon, where instead of people using Amazon as their store, they use GameStop. That's what I like to do. Let me just turn on the lights. It's too dark in here. All right, so we're still on Reddit. So I like to do this every day just to wind down and make sense of what just happened, whether it's a gain, loss, whatever happens on the trading day. I like to just summarize everything and get a feel for what just happened and analyze it and be realistic about it, not just get all, oh, let's just hold and hold. And I mean, no, actually look at the numbers and be matter of fact about it. And are we living in a dream, or are we just, on hopium and all that, or is it actually going to go down, or is it actually going up? I mean, that's important to actually present the truth about that. And bottom line is, it's going up in the long term, just not today. It's a little bump in the road, but as you saw from a lot of the data, 95% are buyers, 5% are sellers. So everything you see is a big illusion. Right. Based on a massive price drop, okay, relatively low volume. compared to the massive price increase last week on massive volume, can we reasonably infer that the current price drop is not an accurate representation of the true value, or the stock has been manipulated? That's a good question. Exactly what I was talking about just a second ago. Edit, true value is the wrong wording. True market sentiment may be better, yeah. I want to see if some replies to that, or 68 replies. Well, true value, according to who? The closest thing in finance to true value of the stock is book value, and we're long way above that. Can you reasonably infer the price run up to $400 is an accurate representation? It isn't. We're overvalued, but bigger than that is the short squeeze. The potential for that is much greater. A lot of people cannot even see it. Only God can see that. You have to wait for time to elapse, where God already knows it's headed and where it's been. And the end of the world, He knows all that. Okay. How do you think the SEC will respond to the GameStop situation? That's a great question. This is the last one I'm going to read. New regulations on retail trading. The SEC is a mess. I wouldn't trust them to do the right thing ever. Well said. It's an agency built by and for lawyers to be lawyers and win cases rather than do the right thing. You're not a charity. If the SEC gave a ass poo about anyone other than Wall Street, you would be able to go there right now and read right line guarantees about insider trading, shorting, what is a pump and dump, what are the rules for cutting off the purchase of stocks, like what happened with GameStop, at PAL, that's all. But they won't. They won't. They would rather litigate. Excuse me. Get a bit more comfortable here. Controller there. Alright. So let's continue. It says here, we would rather litigate to regulate, which means they love to sue people in order to create new legal precedents. Okay, they like to sue people. Yeah, makes sense. All you need to know about the SEC and how badly they want to F the little guy is that they have the option of using judges that work for the SEC. How? When they sue you, rather than you have the option to have a jury of your peers in front of a judge, that is independent. That is independent. A judge that is independent. That's how bad the SEC is. If you want fair markets that don't benefit Wall Street, call your local politician and show them this. Okay, so yeah, not sure what else. Let's see the last question. Not the last one, but the next one. This is big. What single piece of advice do you have for us to succeed in shaking this up? Okay, let's end with that. Keep the language simple for friends. I like that. Keep it simple. I'd say the same thing. Explain it like I'm fired. Patience. Oh, so underrated. Patience is the most important thing you need in this trading. Disruption is never easy or a straight line. It's what you believe. Is what you believe in still true? If it is, stay with it. If it's not, figure out what changed. Learn from it and reload for the next asset. As always, do the work. Assets, including stocks, move for a lot of different reasons. Trading stocks isn't easy. Trading crypto, NFT, whatever, isn't easy. None of this poop is easy. You know what it is? It's time consuming and brain consuming. It's energy consuming. I added that energy part. And when you learn, share. If you want to beat old school Wall Street, you have to share that knowledge. Find the power numbers. Oh, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this, trying to help people. Some more Cubans. Wow, it's amazing. Yeah, I'm holding. We're all holding. Okay, so let's go to the next one. What are your moves tomorrow? It's the last post. February the 3rd. My move is hold. That's my move. All right. Am I the only person still in BlackBerry? No, you're not. You're not. Let's go to top. So this is the discussion, daily discussion, top game night overnight thread. So many whiny, paper-handed weak world keywords. Where are my holders at? Hold my 10 shares of Gamestock. Yeah. Thought he was talking about me. Yeah, my 10 shares too. I have 12 now. Bought up the dip. They targeted gamers were a bunch of people who sit hours, days, weeks on performing some of the easiest, most mentally menial tasks over and over. And over, all for nothing more than a little digital candle chart saying we did. We punish ourselves doing by losing money because we think it's fun. We'll spend most if not all, of our free time dreaming about making millions off this, and finally being able to talk to that cute girl who won't reply. Many of us have made careers out of doing just these things, logging through the grind all day, the same posts over and over. Hundreds of times to the point where we know every little detail, such that some have attained such a gamer nirvana. Okay, basically, there are people who obsess over the details. We play games, and these games involve a lot of dying and trying again, trying again, and we never give up. So you want to know what you're up against, the short hedge fund people, we don't give up. We're willing to lose our money. Uh, I mean, not willing. Let me rephrase that. We are not afraid to lose our money. Are you? You are. That's I meant to answer that. They're afraid to lose their money. And you know what? We're going to continue going on. We're going to continue grinding. That's what we do. That's what we know. We know grinding. You don't. You don't do that. You know cheating. You know lying, manipulating the market. You know how to be evil. Essentially, you know how to bankrupt people, bankrupt companies that don't deserve it. But we rescue companies. We like to give to good causes and give back to society and help people. And it's a battle of good versus evil, essentially. And break it down. That's what it is. Okay, so now that we've gone through the high volume stocks, that only took a while. The Reddit board took longer than I thought, and now we're just going to go through the Reddit stocks now, uh, starting at GameStop. So let's look at GameStop today. Wow. Okay, so it was at 450 on the 28th, 4 days ago. It's at 483, and then it dropped down to 120, and then went back up. That was on the 28th, the same day. Went back up to almost 400 the following day. It's like Bitcoin. Actually, not this up, but it reminds me of Bitcoin. It's so volatile like that. And then it dipped down to 255 same day, and then down yesterday 222, and then today it started. We started. Well, anyway, today's high or today's low, I should say, was 74. Wow, what a steal! And it was as high as 158 today. And right now it's at 92. Closed the day at 90. It's at 92, but not to fret. Without fail, it usually ends up on a high before the market opens. And this is going back up to 400 because this is being manipulated. This is what you call a W. Yeah, I can see the W there. So W between this January 29th. Just a bit of a W there. You can see that it's being traded from short to short. It wasn't even. It has nothing to do with us. Not too much because no one on our side is nobody on our side is selling. Um, we're only buying it a bit. So that's the battle you're fighting against people who aren't giving up, and we just accumulate more shares. That's what I'm doing. All right, so that's all for GameStop. So that is still the gold standard of these Reddit stocks. BlackBerry, this is the best stock of the nine, in my opinion, and it's back to normal levels. This is actually normal BlackBerry levels pre-Reddit. It was ranging between $6 to $12 normally, and we're back to that 11.55. So that's great. But it only has room to grow up back to 20s and 30 levels. I didn't talk about the volume. GameStop's volume was 76 million. It's pretty healthy. It could be a lot better, but it's still pretty good. And BlackBerry was 79 million, so a little more than GameStop. And they range 11 to 13. Um, that's a great buy. It's only going to go up from there. BlackBerry. It's not really, I think we're finding the floor. BlackBerry's support. I'm going to say it's a good buy. 7 to 12. I don't think it's going to go below 7, but I don't think there's room to go up back to 20s, 30s. This is a really good company. They have much to offer. It's not just the revolution behind it, it's actually a good stock. Even if you disregard everything that's going on with this revolution. Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know if this is still part of it, but okay, 21 million. And this one was between 24 to 27. I didn't invest in this one. Um, I think it's a good buy at 18. So I still think there's room for it to go down, but it can go back up again. I don't know. I'm not so hot. I'm not so hot on this one, but I did buy GameStop, and going on. Skip that one. That's number 3. Number 4, AMC. This is the silver standard. Volume for this was 454 million. Said this already. And it was between $6 to $10. I bought some shares at $7 today, and it's at 7.82. After hours is above $8. This one, I have a feeling is going to explode. Crazy. This is the calm before the storm. If it doesn't happen before Friday, like a breakout towards 17, 20 level, then it's going to happen the following week. But you know what? I think we're really going to see something before the close of the week. If not by Friday, then by Monday, it's going to surge. It's really, really going to surge to untold levels because this stock is being heavily manipulated, even if not as much as GameStop, even more. So this is a really, really good buy. That level, $7. Uh, this could be. This looks just like the chart for Volkswagen before $100,000, reminiscent of that. So we'll see. I think it's going to smash $20 pretty easily. Because the only resistance when you see 2034, anyway, that level of 2036, that was the 52-week high. The only reason it stopped is because they halted trading. Do you realize that? If they didn't halt the trading, it would have easily smashed $30 within that same day of January 27th. It would have went to as high as 40 in that same day. If they didn't halt trading like 10 times that one day, and then they banned it the following day. So this is only room to go up, and this is a steal at $7 or even under $10 is a big steal. So AMC, all in, I have 1,000 shares. Full disclosure, I have 1,000 shares of AMC. Actually, more than that now because I bought some more of the dip. Nokia. Nokia. Actually, I bought theirs. I sold it. Or did I? I think I sold Nokia so I can buy more of AMC because I realized it fell, but not as much as AMC. So I said, let's just average out and count my loss, but I'm actually gaining because I'm buying AMC for cheaper than Nokia relative to the price, to the percentage drop. And their volume was 161 million. It's pretty healthy. And I don't know, they're not really doing much. It looks like it's flatlining here for Nokia. Nothing since last week. It's not a good sign. I think, I don't know if they just abandoned ship or what. Well, I did today. I just sold it and bought GameStop and AMC. So I don't know. We'll see if that ever recovers. I think it's the calm before the storm for that too. I don't know. It's flatlining, but that's also it's actually a good sign for people holding who bought Nokia $4 because it's only gonna go it'll only go up from there. If you look at the monthly chart, yeah, this is a healthy level. Nokia was at $4. Actually, normally it's normally at $4, so it can only go up from here. This is the floor. $4 is the floor for Nokia. It's gonna float. It's just a matter of when. Express is another stock. We're at number one, two, three, four, five, six. So there's a sixth Express, and their volume was 34 million. Okay, and they're usually around $1, $3. They are just over three. I think there's room for it to go down a little bit, but there's still a lot of potential for it to explode. I'm about to explode. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so Express. I wouldn't buy this one. I actually, you know what? That's kind of stupid for me to say that because I actually I did buy some of this. I did buy Express. I don't know if I sold it today, but bought it too high. Express. So I thought it was going to explode. I didn't buy too many anyway. Next one is Naked. This one do hold as well, and this one is a good buy. Between 50 and 40 to less than $1, and it is less than $1, so it's a good price. Not down as low as 74 cents today. Volume was 345 million. Wow. So this could possibly take off. Actually, already did to some degree. Went up to 325. Get back up there again. I think it could. It's not far-fetched to see that happening. Sundial Growers, SNDL. This is a great stock. I still own some. I sold some yesterday at 120, and then uh, I kept half. So I bought it around 90 cents. But this is a great buy, between 70 to 80 cents. And the volume for this is incredible. 954 million, so almost a billion. Great. This is going to shoot up. This will go over $1.50. Okay, for that one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the ninth one. Cost. All right, cost is an interesting situation. It was at $100 into 127 at one point, and its volume was 6 million. Excuse me, it's rather low. And before all this Reddit stuff happened, it was down at $3, $3 to $10. So personally, this is just my own opinion. I think it's still overvalued. I think it should be between $3 to $10. And but you know what? It could shoot up anytime. But I did hear that this may or may not be true. Please fact check that. I'm not sure if this is true. But I heard that the amount of shorts for this stock has gone down a lot. So maybe that's why we're not seeing so much movement. It's pretty much, it looks like it's flatlining this week. Because February 1st, it was at 43, 85 and now it's at 20. Hasn't really fluctuated at all. It's showing very little demand. Just look at the volume, was at 6 million, 6.55 million. It's up $21 after hours, but yeah, it was kind of flatlining. I don't know if it's going to break. I don't know if it's ever going to go back to 50 and above. That might have just been a flash in the pan for costs, unfortunately, but we'll see. Could be wrong. Depending on how many shorts are still, naked shorts and all that, and if shorts are still gambling with this one. So that's the last one with costs. I'm going to keep an eye on that one because you never know when it takes off, it takes off. And I'm going to add one. I'm going to add a stock to this. So this will be the 10th stock. Before I get there, let me just scan through these really quick. That's one. This was the start yesterday, but it was just a flash in the pan. This one was from that guy's channel, Trey. That's Gamestock. This one, okay, we're going to talk about that one, but HCMC, the star of the day. 3.67 billion volume between 0.001 to 0.002, and normally it is trading around 0.0002, 3 zeros and a 2. That's what it normally is. And then it just decided to go 0.001, and then 0.00, so it went up 1,000%, and then it went up to 0.0018, and just that alone, the 0.18, I think it's the all-time high. It was at 0.002. Wow. So just by reaching 0.002, it jumped up 1,800%. So over almost 2,000%. Okay, and this is a penny stock. I don't know if I'm able to trade this one, but I'd like to. This is it's got a lot of potential, especially with the lawsuit that it has against Philip Morris, a $1 billion company that does tobacco, cigarette manufacturer. And they're getting into e-cigarettes, the Philip Morris, I should say. So they're adjusting with trends and the changes that are happening in society. And HCMC's lawsuit is regarding that, the e-cigarette that Philip Morris, they claim, has stolen their technology, and so they have a lawsuit, and they're going to respond to that by the end of this month. So it'd be a good idea to get into the stock before that happens, regardless of what happens, even if they fail. But I say a good entry point. I heard what Trey said. I think his entry point was a little too high, whatever he said, but I'm going to say 0.002 to 0.006. I wouldn't get in at more than 0.001. It's just my opinion. Okay, it's a penny stock, so I mean you could lose a penny. How many can you get at let's just say you buy in at 0.001. How many will that buy you for $100? Divide by 0.001, get 100,000 shares. So man, if that goes up, like just 0.0, let's just say it goes up by 0.01, $1,000. Okay. Well, no wonder he's trading like gangbusters. Okay, so let's say I put $100 into it, 0.001, and it goes up. Let's just say it goes up by 1 cent. Okay, 1 cent. It's $1,000 from $100. That's exponential. I could lose $100. Gamble $100 and get 1,000 back. Let's just say you put in $1,000 to that and it goes up by 0.0 by 1 cent. That's not correct math. Okay. 1,000 shares divided by 0.001. A million shares. You have a million shares. goes up by a penny. That's $10,000 from you will multiply your money by 10, tenfold. That is quite a prospect. No matter what you put in, you get tenfold, maybe more than that. This could explode a big time. Okay, best case scenario goes to $1. Okay, so let's say you put $1,000 in, divided by 0.001, that's the entry point. So a million shares goes up by $1. That's $1 million. That's $1 million just from 1,000. But that's best case scenario. I don't think that's, you know what, it could happen, but we'll see. If that case goes really well for them, for HC, is it healthier choices, something? HCMC? HCMC. If it goes really, really well for them, and then it go up, let's be conservative and say it goes up by 10 cents. Okay, instead. So that would be 100,000. So 1,000, and then 3 is 0.001, multiplied by 10 cents. That's still 100,000. That's still $100,000 from $1,000. Wow, that's 100-fold. So whatever you put in $1, $10, you'll get 100 back, $100 back from $1. I like that. I like those odds. If you give me $10, I'll give you 10 times 100, but I'll give you 1,000 for $10. Can you really go wrong with that? I mean, if you're okay losing $1,000, and it's not the end of the world for you, but the reward is potentially $1 million. I don't see why you would refuse that offer. So yeah, this stock that's probably the biggest of all these stocks, HCMC. I'm gonna crown that as the 10th one. Although I'm not sure I can buy that on the exchange on the platform I'm using. So that's all for today. Thanks for your time, and until next time, we'll see you again tomorrow after the market. After market, 1001 HCMC. I'll look into doing that. We'll see what goes tomorrow. But with a volume of 3.67 billion, that's a lot of people who want to become millionaires. These people see the potential there in this penny stock. This is probably the biggest penny stock I've ever seen in my life in terms of volume behind it. I mean, if you bought at 0.001, 0.002, and now you see it at 0.001, not 0.0001, that is, oh my goodness, let me just calculate that. That's interesting. So if you put $1,000 into 0.0001, that's 10 million shares, and you multiply that by going up, I should go up by, this by 0.001. That's $10,000. You already multiplied tenfold whatever you put in. Yeah, I understand what people are investing in as well. But we're not too late to the party because it hasn't really. It's not even at a penny yet. Like you can't say you're late to the party. It's not a penny. But if you own, for $1,000, let's say you invested 10,000, and this goes down 50%, you lost half your investment. So you got to be careful. So I think a good entry point is 0.001 to 0.00, actually 0.0001 to 0.001, but don't go in at what it is, 0.002, or wait, 0.001 is such a funny stuff. But the potential this is really good. So I understand. This looks like a rocket ship about to take off. Wow, look at that chart. The chart is scary. When you zoom out to 6 months, it almost looks like Tesla. It looks really, wow, HCMC. Okay, I'm gonna look into trading that once I get off here. All right, thanks for your time. Those are other Reddit stocks. This is your evolution. We're not afraid to lose your money as much as the hedge funds are. And we're not here to lose money. We're here to win. And we're going to win if we hold. And today was a little bit of a setback. It was, I'm not going to lie. We are down in terms of Gamestock 60%. Okay. Yeah, all right. 60%. AMC 41%. Okay. But do you remember those days last week? 100% gain, 100% gain, 100% gain. Like it's just been, we've been killing them overall. Like the big pitchers were the ones winning, and they're losing. They're just doubling down on the shorts. I don't know why they're doing that. They've lost all sanity. So it's okay. It's better that they do that and try to cheat the system some more. And they could have just backed out and said, okay, I'm done here. But no, they pretend they back out and they release false press releases saying, oh, we've left the game, but they're actually still alive. Yeah. Okay. So let's see what happens tomorrow. This is only going to go up. I mean, it's going to explode. If those reports are true from Wall Street Bets, 95% are buyers for GameStop and AMC. That's what it looks like. And the sellers only 5%. They only make up 5% of the trades for the recent trades. I guess the last, it was either yesterday or today. Um, and this will only go up. Whatever happened since Monday, this steady fall has all been manipulated by the hedge fund, and it's just to shake the tree and see who has the weakest hands, and we'll let go of their shares for really, really cheap because they want to buy it back and cover their shorts. So, 443. Wow, yeah, that's only the beginning. What we saw last week is only the beginning. Uh, this isn't ending. This is the dip. What today is like when it dropped to 120 at 28th. They banned the stock. It's only going to surge up again. It's good. It's volatile because if it's just one straight line going up, that's scary because it can crash like to zero. But because we're seeing these drops, it's showing us the support. It's giving us price targets. It's saying the good price to buy is 77, right? That's what it's saying. Today's range 70 to 80 is the perfect price to buy, to load up. And the perfect price to sell, if you're one who wants to just be smart about it, is because we're in this for the long haul. We're not here just to do memes and stuff. We're actually here to trade long term and wisely. So let's buy at 70 to 80, sub 100, something like that. Uh, and we'll sell between 300 to 400 and higher. So if you do that every time it drops and every time it goes up, you're only going to be in the green, like in a lot of green too. So these are all lessons for us to create our targets. So we see the line of support, and it's very, very strong at 70 to 80. We know it's no longer 120, it's actually closer to 70 to 80, and the resistance is between 350 to 450. But any price between that, you've made a killing. But again, this could very well likely go to 500, 600, and eventually to 1,000. But we'll see where that goes. As long as the news, I think it's interesting that Trey said that. Uh, when do you know when to sell this? Eventually, when everyone's abandoned ship. It's a good question. Uh, Number one, it's when the percentage of shorts are less than 10%. Okay. And number two, like Trey said, it's when the news stop talking about GameStop and all this Reddit stuff, and they don't attack it anymore. That's so they've gone comfortable, and the shorts and the hedge fund people are not telling the news to you know uh, air hit pieces and produce all these negative hit pieces, basically propaganda to scare us. or try to scare not us and the normies who don't even know how to find Reddit. They don't know that it's a website, a forum, a message board that people go to, and they just don't have the motivation or the energy or the competency to just log on and read and filter through for the top posts and see, okay, what is actually going on? Is silver being shorted and all this stuff the media is saying? And well, you find out the truth. It isn't. It's not even about silver. That was a false narrative that they created to distract uh, the masses and the normies and all the actual retail investors from Gamestock, AMC, and all the stocks I mentioned, the top 10 there. So yeah, that's it. Okay, I'm at about an hour and 20. Thanks for your time. I didn't think it'd be this long, but it's time well invested, no pun intended. And I feel good about this, and I'm holding. So I did invest in. Let me just look at my portfolio before I log off and see if I can buy that. What's that? CMC, HC. I heard you can buy it if you put in a limit order. Don't buy it at market. So let's see if that'll work. HCFC. Try to buy that whatever money I have left. HCMC, right? Okay. And I'll tell you what I have in my portfolio. Full transparency. Just logging in. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Right. So I've never done this live on the air. First time for everything. Okay, here we go. Code. Logging in right now. See what I have in my portfolio. And then I'll try to buy that. So we have a total of, let's find what I left here. We only have $10. Got $10, just under $10 to trade with. And in terms of the holdings, let's see what we have here. So let's sell and see what I have. Got AMC, obviously, I have 1,000 of that. Express, we have 10 of those. I wasn't so gung ho about it, and rightly so. You can see actually kind of activity is kind of flatlining, I think, if I'm not mistaken. GameStop, I've got a bunch of those, a dozen of those. Naked, I've got Naked, NAKD, I've got about 200 shares. And Sundial, I've got 250. I sold 250 the other day at 120. So it's a pretty good stock. Yeah, that's my portfolio right now. And just, I think the only way to grow this, besides waiting and holding, is buying low and selling high. It's as simple as that. And when I forgot that principle, that's when I started making maybe not the smartest trades. And there's just a lot more risk involved when you buy it at a higher price than you really should. And I set my targets, but I didn't obey them. I didn't adhere to my targets, and that was a mistake because I got into the FOMO, fear of missing out, and that shouldn't be. That's how you lose money. And you know, a lot of channels are just all about, hey, I'm a millionaire, and I never make mistakes. But I'm just being real. I've made some mistakes, but all in all, we learn the lessons. We come out on top when we apply those lessons, and it's not the end of the world if we are just breaking even at a little bit of a loss. But it's about the principles you continue to exercise, that you continue to learn from, and you stick with it. Because if you're the person that buys it low, buy GameStop that, so you bought it today at 70, whatever, and you sell it at 400, but then the next time you get a little fear of missing out. Let's say it goes to 800. Well, oh my gosh, I missed out on an opportunity, and then you end up buying it at 880. Let's say it went up to 900. And you're like, oh, I just gotta buy it at 880 because I don't want to miss it when it gets to 1,000. And then all of a sudden it drops to 600. You're like, oh my god, what did I do? Panicked. Well, that's what you don't get into the fear of missing out. And I've done that. And that's the wrong. If you're doing it that way, then you're not doing it the right way. And I admit I haven't been doing this the right way. I haven't. But I'm learning from it now, from this day forward, and yesterday, and just learning to buy low and sell high because I've been doing that most of my life. Except with this situation, it just seemed like lightning in a bottle. I didn't know if it would ever repeat itself. I thought it was really going to the moon, and you know what? It's still going to the moon. It's just a little bump in the road with all these banning of Robinhood and various other regulations that I don't know, cheating basically, all this cheating and manipulation and propaganda of the news going on. Is really shaking our trying to shake our hands to let go of the shares we're holding on to. So yeah, that's my confession for today. And going forward, just hope to be more patient and things like this, events like this that happen, only help us to become more patient, to build character, to really. It's like the school of hard knocks. So today we've been knocked around today. We just have to pick ourselves back up and say, you know what, we buy at the low. 70 is the low, 70, 80. No budging. Just set your targets. I'm going to put a buy order, limit order for X amount of Gamestock. Say 100 shares. Just throw a number out there. 100 shares at $70. Okay. 100 shares at $70, and then eventually goes down to 70, 75, or whatever. Let's set it at 75 just to be safe. And you buy it, get that message notification that you got your order filled, and then you set your sell price for $400, 350 to 400. That's pretty safe. And then you don't pressure about that either. You just wait for the notification. When that comes in, you realize, wow, just made a lot of money there. And that's because I stuck to my principles and I didn't budge. And I'm doing this smartly. I still support GameStop. I still support AMC, but I'm doing this in a way so that I'm doing this in a way where I buy low, I sell high, because if I don't do that, I can't continue to support this movement. I'm going to be just holding the bag. That's not the way we're supposed to do it, gentlemen. We're supposed to just buy just because. We have to do it smartly because they've been in this game. The hedge funds have been in this game for 40 years. We're just starting. A lot of us are just starting for the first time, like this month or this year, and that's not enough time. You got to learn really quick. You got to. This is like hyper trading. And you have to hyper learn. You can't just react to the waves and just be tossed to and fro. No, you got to make the waves. You got to know where the dip is. I'm not saying everyone is stupid. I'm just saying that if you're not buying low and you're not selling high, then we're doing this wrong. And I realized that, and I've fallen victim to this fear of missing out. And I'm waiting for it to go to a good level. GameStop specifically, waiting for that to go at least 350, at least 350, not no less than that, and 400. I think is a good level. 350 to 400 is a good level to sell it, and then wait for it to drop again between 70 to 80. So we clearly saw today that is very much a reality. That's the reality of the situation. You have to also face reality. Should have said 77. Did I say 70? 74 to 84. Okay, that's a good range. 74 to 84. So within $10 there. And that looks like the support. Because it didn't drop below that. And same thing with AMC. I mean, there's a great buying opportunity today. $6. 60, exactly 600. You set your sell order for, say, 17 to 20. You want to be really, really smart about it, but Again, I think this is going to really take off. It might be a mistake to sell this because it hasn't really taken off. In my opinion, $20 is not the sky. I think the ceiling for this is sky. I don't think the ceiling for this is 20, 25, 2036. It says 52-week high. Personally, I think it's closer to 40, 40, 50, maybe 100. It's hard to predict because this is like GameStop before it exploded. And just looking at GameStop, it was still in the 14s when I was going to buy it. I was going to buy it in the 14 to 20, then 40, and then 100, so 50, 60, 100, 112, 300. So I think what we're seeing is just like with GameStop, where we went to 14 to 20, right? So from January 13th, still took 2 weeks. January 13th didn't really explode until the 26th. That's 2 weeks. We might have to wait 2 weeks. Just estimating. It'll take at least 2 days, not 2 weeks, for this to explode. And we've only been waiting since the 26th. So if you can wait 2 weeks for this to explode, you know what? I'm not going to say that. Just wait. Wait 2 weeks. Because we already are 5 days in. We have 9 days left. Going by that period of waiting. That's February 11th. So by this time, by next Thursday, it doesn't explode by next Thursday. I'm not saying it has to, but that's a good range. If it doesn't explode by the end of the month, then it's not. I don't think it's going. I don't think it will explode. If it doesn't explode by the end of the month or by March, but we'll see. I mean, it's bad to make predictions, to be honest, but I feel like that's a pretty good range to give it a month. To give it a month to explode, but I don't know. They might be up to really sketchy, suspicious tactics, the hedge fund people. So we'll see what kind of tricks they pull. But they already banned it in some platforms. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna see if I can buy this HCMC. See if we can put an order right now. See if that is up for me. Sometimes it says it's not real, but it is. Yeah, help your choices. It's put an order for 10. Just a little joke, a little joke, but my price is 0.001. 0.00. How many zeros? It's 2, 3, 1, 0. I'll put a custom date. Now if it can go through, let's see. Please choose an option. You cannot buy an order for security in that exchange. Well, I'm just gonna have to watch that with a lot of popcorn. I can't buy that period, unfortunately. So y'all are just gonna have to get rich for me, I guess. So, let's try that again with a little bit. Let's see. I think I just bid too low. Can't buy that. Okay. Which would have cost if I bought it. Try to stop order. Zero, zero, five. It's just throw numbers out there. So it will work. Cannot buy it. No, I just can't buy it at all. Period. That's not too nice. Cannot place an order, I guess. Yeah, well, that's not happening for me. HCMC isn't in the cards for me, but I just have to trade with what I can. So, thanks for your time. And that's all for today. Thank you. We'll do this again tomorrow at just after the market closes, so between 4 to 5. And it's already 6:30. Okay. It's Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.